All right, peace, black family. So this video is going to be in reference to how our so-called freedom, our so-called liberties in the United States perpetuate our ignorance, right? How they contribute to our ignorance as a people. So this story or this video is based on something that happened to me over the weekend while I was at the wash house. Now, let me give you the story. There were two employees, two black men, talking, having a conversation, conversing about fellatio, about receiving oral sex from a woman, right? And, you know, that's guy talk, that's banter. It wouldn't have been an issue if these two black employees had not been having this conversation in front of a young 12-year-old girl who was sitting on a laundromat bench, right? And so I go to address the fellas about the situation. And the first thing one of the men say, or boys, or whatever you want to call them, immature men, whatever, one of the first things he said to me is, bro, you can't tell me what to say. I got freedom of speech. I can say whatever I want to say. It's a free country. I said, but number one, you at work, and you should not be having that conversation that loud. And number two, there's a young 12-year-old black girl sitting right there in earshot of y'all conversation. Oh, man, bro, I can say whatever I want to say. Dog. This America, bro. Like, can't nobody tell me what to say? Again, how these so-called liberties perpetuate and fund our ignorance, our disrespect for ourselves. Yeah, I guess you got the freedom of speech, but you ain't got nothing worth saying. You ain't got nothing worth protecting. You know what I'm saying? Like, the freedom of speech is supposed to be about protecting someone's right to stand up to something. You ain't got worth nothing. You ain't got nothing worth saying. Like, I'll even give you another example. Like the whole idea of religious freedoms in the United States, right? How that's such a constitutional right to have the religious freedoms. Well, where was my ancestors' religious freedoms 500 years ago when y'all was enslaving African people? Because we didn't get to pick Christianity as our religion. That was given to us. And I know that might hurt a lot of people's feelings, but that's the facts of the matter. Africans did not come here from Africa and be like, oh, Christianity, hell of a religion. It's mine. Let me take it. That religion, just like the languages we speak, right? Just like the last names that we have, just like some of the customs that we have, were forced upon us during the transatlantic Ma'afa. Whether you like it or not, your ancestors were forced into Christianity. Now, how you feel about it today is that's your business. But as a political move, it still has ramifications and damage on our minds today. That's undeniable. You can't sit up here and deny that. Ask yourself, where'd your last name come from? The Dutch, the French, the Spanish, possibly the English. All right. Where does the language you speak come from? I'm speaking English right now. I ain't no Englishman. I don't be drinking tea and eating crumpets. I'm not an Englishman. Why do I have an English last name? Why do I speak English? Right? Like, we have to begin to think like that. But because we have the idea of, freedom of religion, what else religion I'm gonna have? You done scared me out of African spirituality. You done had me thinking voodoo is such a horrible religion for so many years. What freedom? What good is a freedom if you ain't got nothing else to choose from? Or you scared to choose from something else? What freedom of religion? All I know is the white Jesus. Help me. Like, come on, man. We have to really start thinking about these things critically and deep. Okay? These so-called religious and freedom of speech and all that. Like, yeah, I got the right to carry a gun, but I'd have been so mental-sidal and crazy in my head, the only person I'm going to use the gun on is somebody who look like me. So, yeah, the Second Amendment is cool, but I'm so messed up in the head that the right to bear arms mean that I want to beef with my ops. I want to kill my ops. I want to kill my ops who look like me. So the right to bear arms and the right to create a militia and all that stuff like that is cool if I wasn't crazy and mental-sidal. If I ain't look at other black people as my enemy. Like, these so-called freedoms and so-called, rights become in reverse for black people. Freedom of speech becomes the right to say ignorant stuff that don't make no sense, that don't push the culture forward at all. You can't tell what to say. I got freedom of speech. You can't tell me where to live at. I want to get money and live around white people. But hey, man, you know, all your so-called rights, all your so-called freedoms work in the best interest of white supremacy. The way you use them, you know what I'm saying? You get money, the first thing you do is, I want to live around white people. You can't tell me where to live at. It's my right to be where I want to live at. You can't tell me. The swirlers, you can't tell me who to marry. It's my right to marry who I want to marry. Well, why don't you take the time and love a black woman and give a black woman grace and marry a black woman and have some black children? It's my right. It's my right. I want to marry a white woman. I want to marry a Hispanic. You can't tell me what to do. It's my right. All of our rights and so-called freedoms work in the best interest of white supremacy and do not work in our interest. Y'all use them for all. Y'all, you know what it is? Y'all have the right to be ignorant. And that's exactly what it is. And y'all take that right to the grave. The right to be ignorant and stand on it and die on it and just that's it. That is your right to be ignorant, period. And yeah. We have to change our worldview, our viewpoint on things, on what the idea of freedom really is. Like what the idea to be free is to have autonomy within yourself, within your culture, within the things that you pick that are good for your people. That's true freedom, picking things that benefit your people. Oh, I got the right to shop wherever I want to buy. Can't nobody tell me what to do. I can go in Gucci, even though they make these racist remarks about black people. I can do that. I can go in there and spend all my money. Anyway, until next time, think black, stay black, love black, support black, and that's real African black power.